cutting edge guests, awesome, uncensored, jaw-dropping information, plus funny memes, good deeds, and loads of laughter. Kind of have it all. Ladies and gentlemen, if your soul's awake, then welcome, because you're in the right place. All right, welcome back to the Sovereign Soul Show, you divine lions and lionesses. I'm Brad Wozny, your host, joined by Navy SEAL Team 6, Dev Guru legend, CIA 11 years, operator, who used remote viewing, Michael Jaco. StreamYard didn't play our intro. That's really interesting. Pulling that together right now, because what's really key, if you just hang on for a second, is the incredible summary of this man's story. StreamYard's got it up. I'm going to click play on that right now and be right back with the man of the hour, Michael Jaco. Incredible human being. Here we are, everybody. Welcome back to the Sovereign Soul Show, all of you divine lions and lionesses, for another Code of Creation Part 2 episode in the series with myself, Brad Wozny, and Space Program Super Soldier and Navy SEAL Team 6 legend, Michael Jaco. In this episode, you'll hear how he was blown up in combat and pulled out of his body. Then in a meeting with Archangel Michael, he was handed a new mission in life and put back. From super soldier programs, including extreme strength and enhanced intelligence, Michael later served as a CIA operator, using remote viewing inside real-world missions. And now at 64, he's leg pressing over 1,000 pounds. We'll also be discussing the God Code and how LifeWave X39 and this incredible company is accelerating not only healing of injuries, which should have ended his career, but those of so many others. And Michael says the God Code is real. The blueprint of creation is inside all of us, as we know. In part 2, Michael will reveal what awakened his true mission: war, angels, super soldier programs, consciousness, and the frequencies that rebuild the human body. Wear your wellness, step into your next evolution. This is the Code of Creation Part 2. Let's go. And it's that time. Here he is. Michael, welcome back to Code of Creation Part 2 in our series, Episode 2. How are you?
Very good, Brad. Good to be back. We were talking before the show. Some very, very high-speed stuff to reveal that came through. So it's going to be great. Great show.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. And first and foremost, before we begin, I want to thank you on a couple of different levels. Number one, yes, absolutely, for your service. It was 35 years career and you're still serving. And but really on a very personal level, from my heart, you are actually a shining example of whether it's veterans who are dealing with transition from military service, or those who are thinking about what could be next, maybe even benevolent law enforcement officers. And we had a motto when I was in that very brief stint called Adapt and Overcome. And what you have been able to do multiple times is confirm to the world and the universe through source, and this is a great tie-in, I didn't think it was going in there, that you can go, okay, so for 24 years, U.S. Navy, Navy SEAL, right to the top of the level, SEAL Team 6, then after that into a contractor operator for the CIA and leveraging remote viewing, and then as an entrepreneur, and doing what you're doing in podcasting and conventions. It's truly remarkable. And I think that's a wonderful leadership example for people, how you can still lead from a heart space. And despite all the challenges, you keep getting after it. And that's wonderful for people to look at, an example. And thank you for your mentorship and friendship from me to you.
Yeah, thank you, Brad. And you're brilliant at summing this up. Wow, it's like, wow, that's perfect. So we've been working together for a while. We met several years ago at an event, and I became like a mentor to you, but you just took off. You just like exploded on your own. You have incredible talents and incredible stuff. Your channel's like rapidly blowing up. You got great guests. It's fun to see someone that you help move in this direction. So this is what we're trying to bring to everybody, you and I both, that we all have within us this God code, and it's basically you tap that, and whatever you want to manifest as long as you're in the light, that you're going to manifest it. It's going to come. And you're a perfect example as well of, tapping into that.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And, for people out there going, all right, it's God code, and these guys might have special skills. At the end of the day, it's what do you really want? And despite because daily and weekly, the challenges are thrown at you and me and anybody else in life still, but you just kind of, keep that head looking right toward what your dream is and what you want to manifest and how you want to serve. And it's pretty incredible because sometimes God jumps in there and you think you're going this direction, and all of a sudden, whoop, oh, now I'm going over here. And then you look back in the rearview mirror and go, I'm really glad that happened. I wasn't too happy at the time,
Yep.
GOB, but my goodness, you have my back, and I thank you for that. And you have incredible stories here too. I think this Archangel Michael story, this is one you told in your book. People don't know Michael is a best-selling author, and for being a guy who's in the SEAL teams, I haven't asked you this, and here we are publicly put on a spot. When you wrote The Awakening of the Warrior, you can just correct me on the correct title here, and Past Lives of a Navy SEAL Remembered. I would imagine, because most men I still see today are kind of like that stubborn mindset in terms of spirituality, other truth, cosmic consciousness, and what might be around there, rather than just like this. I think the divine women are far, far more accepting to other things, or open-minded and adventurous in that way for information. So I think maybe that's a great place to start. You in the book, because from that book, I learned about your Archangel Michael experience and being blown up in Baghdad by a missile.
Yeah, pretty crazy stuff. You start to, go down these different rabbit holes and so forth. And at first, being, military and analytical, it's a very analytical process. You have to, process information and the intelligence, and you have to push yourself and reach different levels. I think that pushing myself was the thing that really kicked it on another level for me, going through SEAL training and, pushing yourself 10 times beyond what the normal human being can do. So it's like, okay, there's incredible potentials that are available to us. We just have to learn how to tap them. For me, I thought it was just random. I got lucky then, and I got a random hit, and things just worked out. But as time goes on, you start to realize that random can be any time you decide. You can actually, uh, you know, tap into this at will, and that's what I started to learn. And this is when around the time frame I had the Archangel Michael experience. So I'm doing remote viewing. I'm, saving my teams and so forth. There was one experience where I knew that there was going to be an attack. We were supposed to be going through a gate at a certain time frame. They probably had, as I look back on it, they probably had access to our secure message traffic within the State Department and so forth. So I just had this strong feeling. I had a vision that there was going to be an explosion, massive explosion, even though there hadn't been any explosions yet. There hadn't been any attacks in Baghdad at this time that I was there on the Master Perimeter Protective Detail. So we're supposed to be going through this gate at 8 o'clock in the morning to go to a range and do some shooting. And I'd known for 2 days that it was going to happen because my remote viewing started to go to another level. It started to go into the future, not just real time, but also into the future. So I started getting these visions, uh, of future events. I'm like, how am I going to because again, you're an analytical group of people, and you say a time, it's like to the second. And if you're a second late, you're way too late, right? So you should be there 5 minutes before or more, and then everything goes down on time. So I'm like, okay, guys, I gotta just got to do a brief real quick before we go out to the range. There's a few things I want to cover. Sort of making stuff up in my head because I'm just getting hammered that you cannot go out. Everybody sat down, and we're like, there's like probably about 35, 40 guys that I'm in charge of. So briefing, just like, oh, man, if I'm wrong about this, it's going to look really bad. And then at 8 o'clock, there was a massive explosion. So we all ran up to the roof, and then there was another explosion right after that. Running up to the roof of the Saddam Hussein's palace, and we look out, and there's like these huge clouds. We could hear sirens going off, and from where we're at, we could hear the screams, and it's pretty far away. So we learned later there was over 100 people that were killed at the time we're supposed to be going through the gate. So they did big car bombs, and it just was loud, security, everything.
Yeah.
So it was maybe a few days after that is when I had this experience, because I was like, who did that? So I remote viewed, and I saw a guy that eventually would be revealed to us within a year of Zarqawi. And I saw his face, and I saw like a demon on him. And I was like, I've heard you can fight demons. So I went in like a knucklehead to fight this demon, and it came out, and it was like way more powerful, way more everything to me than anything I'd ever encountered. So I went whoop right back to my body. So 2 days later, nighttime, I'm floating on my body, because all of this is relatable. So my abilities to remote view and help people, and my abilities to look and go after darkness. So the darkness came for me, and there was a missile strike, as you talked about, and the missile strike came in. Now I'm unknowing about this, so I'm floating on my body, and I'm like, oh wow, I'm having an out of body experience. Always heard about this, and I always heard look down at your body, and get a relationship with it, and then that you're having an out of body experience, and you have more power. So I look down, and I'm blown to pieces. Everything's destroyed. I'm like, my body is like blown up in pieces. I can barely discernible, and I'm like, I'm not having an out of body experience. I'm dead. I'm leaving my body,
Wow.
and I'm going to, I guess, heaven or wherever I'm going to go. And then I had this feeling, this sensation that there was something very powerful. And I start to look up, and I see this massive angel. I would say 12, 15 feet, is floating. Uh, its wings were spread. Now, I've heard that the angel's wings can move so fast you can't see them move. And when they're in the physical realm, they're moving so fast they're not even discernible at all. So I'm looking at this unbelievable image, and it's like I'm looking at you, or like I'm looking at anything in the physical realm. In that state, uh, just outside your body, everything's still 3D-ish type, but on another level. So obviously 3D, 5D type, movement going on. So I'm looking at this. I'm just mesmerized by this angel. And as my eyes start to come up, I look into its eyes, and then I feel this incredible love energy come, and it's like it lights my whole body up, like all the way down to the atomic structure, and then whoosh back in time, because I had this momentary thought that it's so bad, such a bummer that I'm dead, because I feel like I could really help humanity. And that's when I saw the angel, and the angel's probably, I look back on all this, and I'm like, the angel's like, Archangel Michael was like the warrior angel. It's like, we're going to send you back in. So you got the right attitude. We're going to send you back. And so back in time, in my body, I sat up as an explosion goes off in the distance. And I said to myself, it's like, wow, that angel saved me. So I didn't
Oh,
know it was Archangel Michael at the time. So I did a little research, and eventually I would find that out. But yeah, it was amazing time. From that point on, my abilities went to a whole nother level, became a remote influencer. I could remote influence things, and I grew with that. So we all have these initial doubts, and as time goes on, you have these experiences over and over and over again. You stop the doubting. You're like, okay, I can do this. So what else can I do with it? How can I take it to another level? So that's kind of where I went over time. So I've had some truly amazing experiences since then.
yeah, that's remarkable. And when I heard that story from you, it led me to an interview with a guy named John Burke, who is a pastor who dedicated now his life to actually documenting the 3,500 clinically proven dead people who were brought back.
Mm.
And those stories all about their near-death experience, meeting Christ, going to heaven. 20 or so percent of them didn't go to a nice realm, and also meeting with angels. And I think it's just so powerful for people to hear this, because it acknowledges the realm that we all come from. Our soul is infinite. It's the sound of unlimited love. We come from a creator source, and there's so much out there that we don't know until certain people bring in aspects of information to us, to that point. And it's so inspiring. Like, when I tapped into rather, excuse me, that's the wrong term. When I came across the information from Greg Braden, you've had him on your show, and it was probably a year or two before seeing him on your show, because as I described in Code Creation Part 1, everybody saw last month, and Code Creation 3 we're going to do in January. We're going to just a little frontline teaser. We're going to talk about Michael's training as a super soldier on Venus and some other stuff. But continuing down this path, Greg was talking about our DNA. He spent 2 decades decoding our DNA. And if you're ready with it, I'll play the 2-minute clip of Greg Braden, because folks, if you haven't heard this before, he's bringing the science and he's bringing the actual biblical revelations of what it says in Sanskrit and Hebrew, and I forget the other language, but he says this right here in the clip. And I think it's
amazing guy.
Phenomenal. Here it is, Greg Braden. And this is an interview from Know Thyself that he was doing, where I picked up this clip.
Is atomic mass. The atomic mass of the elements of our DNA correlates to the letters of the ancient alphabets. And here's the beautiful thing, is the message that it reveals is exactly the same in all 4. It's the same in Arabic, the same in Hebrew, the same in cuneiform, and the same in Sanskrit, and probably other languages. Those are the 4 core languages. It actually spells out the answer to probably the oldest question that we've ever asked. When we say, who are we? The translation of the first layer in the DNA, the introduction of every cell in our body, reads exactly the same. And it literally, this isn't a metaphor, it literally reads the words, God eternal within the body. God eternal within the body. And the name of God that's written in our DNA is exactly the same as it's written in the oldest spiritual and religious, our most ancient and cherished spiritual traditions. That name is actually written into the DNA of our bodies. So what we can say with absolute certainty is, when we forget who we are, when we think our differences are so great that separate us, to isolate us and break the social bonds, and we no longer know who we are, we need look no further than 50 trillion cells in the human body, and the first layer of every one of those cells, that literally says God eternal within the body. And people have said to me, the rabbis came down really hard on me and said, we've tried to keep this secret. What gives you the right to reveal it? And I said, because I'm not a rabbi. What better time to reveal this than now? And why wouldn't we want to tell ourselves that we are God eternal within the body? We're not some random process, the result of a random mutation, slow, gradual evolution. There's an intentional intervention and a signature to tell us about that intervention that literally says we are God eternal within the body. What I've found is, when people discover this, I see this in live audiences. I watch people's eyes and I can feel the vibe in the room, because now everyone has a challenge in their lives. How does God eternal within the body deal with this disease? How does God eternal within the body deal with the betrayal of the trust? And it's very different than how we're taught to think of it as mere mortal humans.
That just gives me amazing chills. And yes, we're going to be talking on the show again about LifeWave X39, this amazing sticker patch that activates with Cellargize AM all of your DNA, all of your stem cells in a 30-year genome. So we'll continue to chat about that coming up. But, like to Greg's point, Michael, the fact that we have 50 trillion cells. And when I worked with Bob Proctor, he was telling people, one of his famous quotes is, you have more power in the pinky of your finger that you can actually light up a city for an hour if we convert this energy into powering a city. And that to me just suggests that there's so much more what has been hidden from us, whether it was the super soldier program or near-death experiences, angels, and God, than we've ever known. And I thank you for bringing all this out too. It's truly magical. I mean, in the super soldier program you spoke on our last show, you conveyed an experience where you were fighting, I think it was the stone guys, stone giants,
Right.
and blown up, and they had a piece of your skull and brought it back to the craft, and they rebuilt you from that, and you hung around your consciousness. And if people haven't seen that, would you mind just tapping in and sharing a little bit of that story as it relates to everything else that we have going on here in this show?
Yeah, and just segue in from the Greg Wright, and I remember seeing him on stage and his shows and so forth, and I was like, he's kind of like, one of those type people. And then I worked with him on a movie project, and we got to be friends. And then he came on my show, and we did a couple shows together. But he's very, very down to earth, but obviously tapped in. Now, I talk about every cell of the body having the God code, and that's what I experienced when I had the Archangel micro experience. Every cell in my body lit up with the energy of the angelic realm, and then eventually I had that ability to project that in a real life situation. Instead of calling the angels to protect me, I became like an angel or an earth angel and sent out the God code and protected myself and my team. And then from that point on, I went to another level with it. Now, as far as like the Rockman, so the Rockman had this ability to get inside your brain, and they would manipulate you if you're by yourself. So we had to work in teams. So in teams, we could protect each other. We could shoot at them. We had like these high speed particle beam pulses that would go at them and break them up. And that's how we overcame them. Of course, then we've seen some of those action figures where there's one Rockman type guy that joins. There's always good people in all, like, there's bad people and there's good people, of course, as human beings here on Earth. And reptilians, good and bad, and every race has good and bad. Some races more good than bad, and some races more bad than good. But the Rockman, for the most part, are like a half and half, kind of like human. Some of them go bad. We were fighting the bad ones because they're very powerful. Like I said, they can come in and control consciousness and destroy quite a few things. So we were defeating them, and I remember jumping in my craft because we were chasing them, and they got in their craft, and they went into an underground type tunnel, deep underground military base. And of course, we're not going to fly our craft into that. So, and I'm controlling my craft with my mind. So that's another thing we'll get into in a bit eventually. But I'm thinking, I'm controlling. I land it. I get out with all my gear, all my stuff, and my team is just slightly behind me because I'm a leader. I lead the way, and I'm thinking they're going to be right behind me. So I go in by myself, and that was a mistake because I got separated and they blasted me. So the team basically comes in. They're pissed. They blast all the Rockmen, and then they grab my remains. They take it back to the craft, and you might remember the movie Avatar, where the being is in that tub of water type tank. Yeah. And they have wires hooked up to him. Well, in that fluid is the building blocks of life. So they put you in a piece of your DNA. They have the DNA code, the God code for you, and then they start to rebuild you. And it's your consciousness is in waiting. We're trained to do that because we know that we're going to be killed on a lot of occasions. I've been killed many times and have come back. And so we've heard of people like you talked about, that die and come back. It's the same thing, but on a larger scale, because you're very conscious and aware that you're separate and they have to rebuild your body, and you're going to be gone for maybe a week or two at a time at most. But then you can come back in your body, as long as it's not more than a month. Then you start to lose connection, and then it's no longer viable for your soul to come back in. That's my memories anyway. So maybe it's changed. But in a couple of weeks, they had my body reconfigured, and I come back in. I'm like, and it's pretty cool. But you still have the memories of being blasted apart. And so you have to go through a process, almost like, when you injure yourself, you have to learn how to walk again. And like I had to learn how to walk again when I had my kneecap shattered, how to bend everything, because it'd been like months before I was able to like do it normal. So you have to relearn everything. So you have to relearn a lot of things. They have to teach you, how to re-access your memories and all kind of crazy stuff. But that's what happens to, unfortunately, a lot of super soldiers.
Wow. So you've had many regenerations, whether it's Archangel Michael or actually having it on the craft and the super soldier program. Mm-hmm. And I think, a through line for everybody to take away from this story is it's almost as if we are a benevolent we are celestially designed, but almost as if we have our own program. Literally, I guess that's exactly what it is. We have this blueprint, this code. Yep. Speaking of Code of Creation, the movie that's coming out, Greg Braden, you mentioned, he's on there too. It's primarily about LifeWave's inventor, David Schmidt. And we'll talk about that a little later in the program too, and why Mickey Willis, who did Plandemic, and between Plandemic and the Great Awakening, during censorship and lockdowns for the last 5+ years, heavy censorship and Ministry of Truth, everybody, he got over 3 billion watches on his 2 documentaries that he and his wife did out of their home in their basement with a small team. And you got to see Code of Creation, so we'll come back to that for certain. Okay. But in a super soldier, I just want to touch people here. Here's a photo of Michael just a few weeks ago, right after our LifeWave conference. That's not a statue, that's an actual real man he's standing beside. And, for a guy like yourself, who's already, this is a picture of you when you're bodybuilding. Like, my goodness, you're super soldier to SEAL Team 6 and going out and crushing awards and medals as a bodybuilder yourself. You give a lot of inspiration to RFK Jr. He's using X39 technology too. And I have a question for you on this photo. Is that guy just to the side of RFK where he's doing his leg presses? Is that guy the same guy that's in the photo with you here at Muscle Beach?
Yeah, that's the same guy.
Wow.
And yep, so you kind of see the arm and everything, but he worked with RFK. Looks like RFK there is doing quite a bit of weight like me. I had the X39 patches, and I did well over 1,000-pound press, leg press. Like I don't know how much he's doing there, but it looks like it's maybe close to that.
So 745s aside right there. I counted 745 plates at least for what it's caught there. That's incredible for his man.
Yeah. Yeah, it's incredible what you can do with LifeWave. I've pretty much pushed myself more than I ever have in certain areas. Everything I focus on has really gone to a different level. So it's kind of like the Super Soldier program. We're given different capabilities. We're upgraded and so forth. I feel like throughout my life I've been upgraded. Like what happened with Archangel Michael, and then in the Super Soldier program, once you've been injured, they can upgrade you. Instead of like, you have that injury and it's debilitating. Like I had a kneecap shattered. And after a kneecap shattered, here I am doing, over 1,000-pound leg press. But it is like that. You upgrade every time you get injured. Instead of like that's a drawback for you. No, you're going to get upgraded. And I feel like throughout my life, somehow I've been upgraded over and over again. So it is something I believe is a consciousness thing, and it's a link to this Code of Creation God code. And it is something that everyone's a super soldier out there.
Yeah.
Everyone has superpowers. What it could be mental, could be physical, could be both. I have both. So there's incredible capabilities that we all have, and you just have to learn how to go into these states of consciousness and start to tap into that. Start to tap into the the consciousness. So the code of creation. So once you tap into that, which I was doing before my Archangel Michael experience. So it prepared me, I believe, to be able to go and to understand and actually experience that. So it wasn't like, they put me back together. It was like they just put me back in time. So it moved me in time.
Yeah.
And there's people that have talked about, how they'll see something like a accident coming. They're about ready to be hit. And then the next thing they know, they're like, ahead in the traffic, and it's like, there's what, I was dead. There was a huge truck that was coming, and they're like ahead, and they're just driving, and they're like, what just happened? So this is something that happens for people, and a lot of times, like I know a lot of SEAL team guys, because that's my realm. There's a lot of them have talked about these experiences where they should have been dead in certain circumstances, combat action and so forth, but they find themselves like not, or helicopters getting ready to crush them to death, and then it stops and then goes the other way. So all these different things, bullets, normally they come up and do things a certain way. For whatever reason, they decide to take a knee and put the explosives on the door, and then rounds come through where they would be normally standing. So there's always these things that are coming in and helping us, guiding us. Unfortunately, some people that succumb to different things in life, it's either they attracted it to themselves through their consciousness, or they weren't tapped in to the God code that's within all of us.
That's amazing. Our next video we're going to show is about William Shatner, because I've been saying this has been Star Trek tech for now just over 2 years since you and Tracy Joe introduced it to me, and Tracy Joe is your amazing wife. And before we go there, you said something that out of all that is amazing, but really made a point, a mark on me, in terms of 3 days ago, I recorded a show reminding everybody that it was 2015, run over on my motorcycle. The RCMP arrested the woman who ran the stop sign, 3 witnesses. They all said she did it. She admitted it. She was going to be late for her tennis appointment and T-boned me, and I went up on the windshield and head and shoulder in the windshield, and my ankle was caught underneath her bumper. She drove up on my BMW bike. It's a boxer engine, for anybody who knows the 1200 GS adventure bikes, and then slammed me on my back because I came off that bumper, slammed me on my back. My legs went right over, fold over my head, and I car wheeled across 3 lanes, slammed into a fire hydrant, August 7, 2015, Kelowna, British Columbia, on Pandosy Street for the Canadians. And the guy was watering his lawn, drinking a cup of coffee. It's like 8:15 in the morning when this happened. And what I found, because Tiger Woods and Lindsey Vonn's orthopedic surgeon was assigned to me, because at the time I was living in Vail, Colorado. I'm a legal resident of America, and I was just going through divorce too. But they were like, okay, where are you from? Who's your insurance company? State Farm. Okay, but you're Canadian. We need to send you back there for medical advice. I'm like, that's great. This guy puts everybody back together. He's #1 in the world. He's got pictures of working with SEALs, Delta, and all the sports teams around the world, Major League Soccer as well. And so he tells me that, you know what, you need 3 to 4 surgeries and you'll get maybe 70% back to normal, what you were doing. You can maybe get back to snowboarding, snowmobiling, and not just regular joyriding snowmobiling. I mean, like, we're big mountain snowmobiling, as Michael certainly knows, in Tahoe, and a lot of other stuff, and adventure motorcycling, right? You throw a 500-pound bike around for 7 to 10 days, living off the back of it, going through dirt trust trails. You got to have a little bit of physicality and balance.
Oh yeah.
So I chose not to do the surgeries when I found out what Oxycontin is. And as our friend Gregor Muscari says, I love his quote. He's like, chemical weapons and surgical strikes are no way to heal the body. They help put the body back together, maybe mitigate some pain and whatnot. But this stuff, and so thanks to you guys 22 months ago, that took my locked shoulder pain that never fully healed, but was better. And I actually got back and I was doing training greater post-injury by doing PT without surgery. But I got these patches and I am now back to yoga, nearly pressing the handstand, surfing, paragliding, which I guess you don't have to be in the greatest SEAL Team 6 type of shape to do. And then all the other things at a higher level, running faster, lifting more weights, pressing more weights, doing dips, doing pull-ups, more near the age of 50 than I could do 10 years ago. And then these patches really help and they kick in, the main thing. And before we go to the Shatner, I just want to tell everybody, because I've been saying this is Star Trek technology. And Michael's got a story about Stargates. He was telling me right before we came on here. And by location, full-on Jedi is who Michael is, 100%. Just a few weeks ago, November 7th, LifeWave and X39 with Cellergize, I told you all, activates your stem cells. We just won the Biotech Award out of 15,000 applications in the world, and David Schmidt really won it. We're just grateful to be part of the company and sharing it with people. And that right there just proves stem cell activation and awarded technology for the price of a Starbucks a day, non-invasive, no chemicals, and helps you go. It's incredible. Your thoughts on that? I know you got a lot of good stuff to say about that before we go to Shatner.
Yeah, I think you're attracted to the things that you're meant to come in contact with. I think LifeWave is one of those things, because I had injuries as well, the knee and shoulder, and I had stem cell injections, and they were effective for about 6 months, and it started to wear off. So as it's wearing off, I got introduced to LifeWave. It's like God kind of like shows up when you need him, So I started using them. I've not done stem cell injections since, because I'm getting my stem cells activated naturally. And I would say what I spent on the initial stem cell injection, the first series, and I never went back again. What I spent on, it was like $10,000. I haven't spent anywhere near that over the last 3 years in LifeWave products. So, and they have done me much better, like I've talked about. So I think that, medbed type technology, I talked about, the Super Soldier program. This is something that has come through to help humanity at a time when we're definitely in dire straits from being attacked from the evil side. And it's definitely helping a lot. I did a show one time a couple years ago with David Schmidt, and he talked about how it could reverse the problems with shedding from people that have had the bioweapon, the real bioweapon attack, which was the COVID-19 shot vaccine. And then, of course, those people that have had the COVID vaccine shot can definitely benefit from using LifeWave as well. So I think it's saving a lot of people's lives, and it's probably saved my life. Who knows what other things I've been exposed to. I'm under attack. I've been attacked several times because of the stuff I reveal. And I think it's because of LifeWave. It's God's gift. It's kept me alive and kept me able to come out and reveal more of this information.
Mm-hmm. I'd certainly agree. 100% agree. And keeping people up there because of additional injuries I've had since having used the patches, and how quickly it just turns it around. I mean, regrowing my left molar in literally 8 weeks from the time I was told, pull it out, it's infected, December 24 or 2023, Christmas Eve day, going, get that thing out. And I didn't have an option because of my location in South America. Doctors weren't open for dentists rather. And with frequency, and this is proven at University of Alberta, you can regrow teeth with the proper frequency, and these patches were the proper frequencies. So all our links are in the description. And for me, because it's a Gretzky number, $99 with our 30% discount on X39 for a month's supply. Gretzky, greatest of all time hockey player. I mean, that you can't lose, especially with 100% money back guarantee. So that's why it's Star Trek wellness technology. And before we go there, I keep saying before, I apologize, everyone. Michael was sharing the story about regeneration. This is using the patch on a guy who's 8 weeks, no evidence of scarring, regrowing nerve tissue. And why? Because you just heard from Greg Braden, God code. This is your code of creation, like the movie that's coming out. And this is our preemptive series, right? Here's a kid whose finger was sliced off camp trip in Germany and was taken to the hospital. Doctor said he couldn't regrow it. There was no point. They said sew it on. They used the patches, and 8 weeks later, regrew all his nerves. Thanks, because it was the stem cells, right? If it built you, it'll heal you, as Dr. Pam Lewin says. Amazing. Amazing. Full on. Do you want to set up this video with William Shatner, Michael? You did so great time with it last time.
Yeah, let's watch it.
I might have said some keywords there. Am I coming through again?
Yeah, you're coming through now.
Okay, great. Yeah, it seems because I'm on a Google browser for the streamer. Maybe if there's certain keywords I said, it kind of just stops for a second. I apologize, everyone, for that. Where did you lose me at?
I thought you were like ready to watch the video.
Oh yeah. So if you wouldn't mind, setting up Shatner and the relation to David Schmidt, because you've had David on the show, you've had a couple of conversations, and you've been in David Schmidt's labs. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I guess he's David Schmidt. When he was growing up, he was a Star Trek fan like myself, and watched other shows. And as a kid, he was called Spock. Spock was a science officer in the show, and had these abilities, mind meld, and all the kind of crazy stuff. So he was called Spock as a kid, and of course he became an inventor. There was his dream. He went to Thomas Edison's plant, laboratory, toured it, and is like, that's what I want to do when I grow up. So he started inventing. He has met William Shatner, and William Shatner is an incredibly talented, of course, but also very knowledgeable in a lot of these realms. And so they've had great conversations. They've done some shows together, a lot of them kind of fun, but they're looking at doing something a little bit more extreme. I talked to him yesterday in a show, and they're looking at doing something a little bit more mainstream, like maybe a movie type thing.
Whoa.
So they're moving in that direction, and finding the right people to get involved. And this time, at this day and age, we're having more of Hollywood that are moving kind of more in our direction. We've had a lot of wokeism that's come from Hollywood for a while, but I've seen other people talk about how there's a lot of people in Hollywood that are moving into this realm, and there's people that are being picked to do some roles with David Schmidt and LifeWave, and how LifeWave is working, kind of like some of the stuff we're talking about. It's like super soldier stuff. I don't know if they're going to have a program like that, but from the conversations I've had with David and the technology that I've been able to see in his laboratory, it is way advanced. And he even mentioned that there could be a technology that he has with his goes along with his drone, which is the most advanced drone technology out there, that they will be able to, like we're talking about vibrational frequencies, they'll be able to do vibrational frequencies that will make people not want to do war. So it's like kind of like what I've done, with my consciousness.
Wild.
So it's a frequency, and they may have gotten to the point where they have that God code frequency, and they'll be able to broadcast it. So some pretty amazing and exciting things coming. Imagine no more war. We just get people in the right consciousness. And we've talked, and everybody's talking about, all of us have talked about how we're going into a golden age. But those people that are having a little bit of struggle getting there, they want to take the rest of us down. Maybe we could get some right frequencies out there and help us out a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. Wow. That's cool. I hadn't heard about this. I'm so glad I asked the question in the prompt. Amazing. Amazing. And to that effect, the David Schmidt we're talking about, everybody, what you're going to see in the video, he is right now America's most prolific inventor, walking the face of the earth with over 200 patents. Because remember, this started out as a company developing technology for the Navy SEALs with its very first patch. And here we have the best of the best on the broadcast. So this is William Shatner, Captain Kirk, in the world's largest intern. Love this clip. Here we are, everybody. Enjoy.
I've lived a long life. I've done a lot of things, but I've never been an intern.
I'm the founder, sure, but I'm also an inventor. My latest experiment? Hire William Shatner, but as an intern. No way I can afford that guy full time.
Hi, I'm Alicia. I'm going to be your trainer for today.
Hi, Alicia. Hi, Alicia.
William Shatner?
Yeah, well, you can call me Bill. Or intern. Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's just fine. Today I'm going to be taking you on a tour of our Welcome Center.
I hear they have something like a captain's bridge in the Welcome Center. Feels like you're traveling through space.
I have an award-winning production designer
This I gotta see.
for decades. And hey, Bill.
No, please, no sci-fi today. I'm just here as an intern, that's it. I just beamed in. Yeah, I know that look. I get that look whenever I sneak around, and you're sneaking. Go away. I'm busy. Jackpot. You didn't see a thing. People gotta see this.
Bill, who let you in here?
He let me in here.
Bill? Captain?
Oh, you gotta get out here. The old intern who looks an awful lot like me, he's messing things up.
But wait, aren't you?
Yeah, it's a sci-fi thing. Come on.
Oh, excuse me. David, was that? Is that in budget? Here you are. Come on. Back to the group.
People gotta see this.
I know. It's a part of the tour.
Oh.
Yeah.
Are you ready for me? Doug. Bill? Doug? Bill. Doug. Bill. For goodness.
Do you know Doug?
Do I know Doug? Star Trek designer on props and sets and the spaceships and this?
Came out beautifully, huh?
Oh, Doug is...
Hey, Bill.
Oh,
One of your clones said you're causing trouble.
you're taking the word of a clone?
Personally, I always go with the original.
That's a good idea.
I have a question. Are you really going to be an intern here?
But, yeah, why not? But first, I gotta tell you about the Welcome Center here at the LifeWave offices.
Okay, this is a commercial. Got it.
No. It's a kinda soft sell. No, just a simple suggestion, really. Copy this QR code to learn about LifeWave. its products, and their amazing welcome center, and that's it. I had a great time experiencing their amazing life-changing technology and learning about the opportunities surrounding one of the fastest growing companies on the planet. And you will too. So check them out and just tell them Bill sent you. The real Bill, not that sci-fi clone. Oh, okay. Hey, duty calls. Back to internal. Bye-bye.
Oh man, I love that.
That's hilarious. I still, it's so funny. So that it's interesting that hologram box, and it's real. It looks like you're right there in front of somebody and they're talking completely. And so there, when I went there to the welcome center, David actually came into one of the hologram boxes. He was in, I think, Denmark at the time, where he has a drone program, and he came in and answered questions. It looked just like, just like you're like seeing somebody for real, and he would listen to our questions and answer them. So he's in a different location now. What's crazy about that is he can hologram into multiple hologram boxes like that in different countries simultaneously. And when he speaks English wherever he's at, it comes through in the language of where the box is. Like if it's in India, they're in Farsi or Hindu or whatever, and then in Japan, Japanese, and it's crazy. It automatically shifts. So the technology is definitely moving in an incredible direction.
Yeah. To me, like you mentioned, Spock was his nickname in college. I think it's amazing. You talk about manifestation earlier in the series here, and he literally manifested. He wanted to do stuff that would be the Star Trek of its time in terms of building a company. So now he has the greatest drone technology in the world, which to me sounds like he's going to beam healing frequencies, angelic frequencies into war zones, combat zones, places. We know from meditation, I've been trained as a TM practitioner since 2011. And we know from studies that you can go in and you can meditate en masse in areas with 20 or 100 people. It doesn't even have to be that many. You can actually bring the vibration of crime down and increase the vibration of enlightenment up. And that's also what I see these patches doing as well, Michael. I mean, this is literally when you can put something on like this sticker, right? The X39, which, everybody, once again, I mean, when I say sticker, I say it tongue in cheek, right? Part of it is like, that's all it really is a sticker, but you don't really see the half a decade that went into just developing the X39 to activate your copper peptides, which activates, then has a supply chain reaction with Celergize awarded to activate all your stem cells. And then genome, we have to say that due to regulations at the moment, and is shown to do that for a couple bucks a day. And that's it. And then you have incredible healing, focus, cats, pets, animals, goldfish, people having a second lease on life like I've had. You have people. We're about to go on a mastermind tomorrow that you host, and the incredible success people are having in the business as well too. But not to steer away from the Stargate, because we're definitely going to have that discussion there. I want people to get this, right? Like not only just get it from a mental standpoint, but feel intuitively from your heart, where we have the greatest amount of neurons in our stomach and our heart. This is our brain. Our Heart Math Institute has proven it, where you can broadcast that vibration out there and feel at peace. And this is working on your behalf in this instant gratification economy that we have, right? You're like, okay, take off the little back of the sticky, put it on the back of your neck or wherever, what's going on right after you brush your teeth, take it off at night, done. Instant gratification. It's faster than ordering a cup of coffee at a drive-thru or on a mobile app to put it on and take it off. Like, amazing. And it reverses your aging. It's patented. Anyway, I could go on, but I won't get too excited at this moment. I'll leave that to the end.
So along with that hologram technology, like we were talking about earlier, I don't know if you want to segue into what I was talking to you about earlier.
Yeah.
So
this is Jedi stuff. Again, this is why I say Michael's
right.
Jedi. Yeah.
So I have these crazy abilities in this life, and Jedi. You talk about Jedi. Yeah, I can do the Jedi stuff. I've been part of taking a lot of people down. Osama bin Laden, I focused on him for a year, and then my old team came and got him. There's like probably about a half a dozen or more different terrorists I work on. Zarqawi was one of them. We saw him, and then my old SEAL team 6 compadres went in and got him as well. So there's a lot of connections that I have when I focus on something and trying to bring a better reality. So I've realized these abilities in the Super Soldier program. In the Super Soldier program, I still have a connection. So I feel like I have another part of me that's living in the Soldier program. I have a connection to it. So in that, I've developed the ability to use the looking glass technology. So the looking glass technology is like an iPad, and you look at it, and your consciousness connects. You have to be at a certain frequency, consciousness-wise. Not everybody can do it. It's only like less than 1% that can actually make the connection. But you make a connection with the iPad because you're basically tapping into God consciousness. And when you do, it works like an AI. So you ask questions just like you would on your iPhone or your computer or whatever, and the answers come. Now, what I've just realized just recently, because I can see forward and backwards in time, and I can see like a person's life, what they're thinking. I can look at my life and what I did in this life and other lives, but I can project, uh, just like you saw in the hologram. I can hologram out, and kind of like what you saw in Star Wars, where R2D3, projected out, Princess Leia, so that everybody could see, and she had a message. So I can do that with the Looking Glass technology to brief other people, and it's just like you just saw with David Schmidt, a hologram, and it's a total hologram. If I'm like speaking about a target, this is where we're going to go. I can look at the target real time, and I can project it through the Looking Glass AI consciousness and project it out. So it just came to me just recently. It's very clear. I'm sure now that I'm talking about it, this is the first time I've ever talked about it publicly.
Wow. First ever.
And I believe now that I'm talking about it, we're probably going to, because this is the way this works. It's gonna somebody else is going to say something, and maybe the technology comes out at some point soon. But it's crazy how this works.
Mm-hmm. That's wild. And if people are still wrapping your head around this, for a few out there, what you saw in the video we shared with William Shatner, lots of amazing comments here on Rumble about that, loving the video, loving David bringing the patches out to hear too from many people in the chat, Michael, that when you saw William Shatner talking to William Shatner, but in that kind of box, that's a holographic box that exists today, as Michael said, where we've had David Schmidt at different conferences at the same time in different countries and different languages. He can be in his office at LifeWave headquarters, and it's not just for him, right? This is stuff that's out there now, available on the market, and then eventually will be mass produced, and it immediately translates everything. And now what Michael is saying, and this reminds me of my time studying Yogananda, and then if anybody sees Confessions of a Yogi, you can read the autobiography of Yogananda. Because I was in a Life Between LBL session I had there, took me to Buddhist monk temple, likely Nepal, and then many years ago, and then another one being up there and teaching people, and I'm like, what is that? I'm not looking like a Buddhist guy, and I was told, they're like, no, you're with Yogananda, you're being trained by him. So then I found that out, and that's by location. And what you're talking about with Looking Glass technology, which will finally come out, that you've been able to do this, is freaking amazing. Full Jedi. Amazing.
It's a reality that exists out there simultaneously. And I'll give you an example. When I was in the regular SEAL teams, or SEAL Team 6, everybody wanted, if you're wanting to go to the top, you wanted to be a SEAL Team 6 guy. And shortly after SEAL Team 6 started, and I went to the SEAL teams after I was there for a few years, I got the opportunity to go to SEAL Team 6. And it's one, I remember going in there and I would start to see all the guys that had disappeared over the years. And I thought they got out, or maybe they went somewhere else, maybe the other coast or whatever. But I come into SEAL Team 6 and it's like old homeschool. It's like, hey, this is where you've been all this time. Yeah, welcome. It's like glad you made it here. It's like you come into a whole another reality.
Wow.
And it's completely separate from everything else because it's like ultra secretive. Everybody's wearing long hair, beards, mustache, whatever. You wear civilian clothes. You don't wear a uniform anymore unless you're actually doing a mission. But it's completely like that. And there are other realities out there, like the Super Soldier Program, secret. They're out there. The space program. It's out there now. I think Trump has started to bring it into our conscious reality here when he started the space program. I think that's going to be the connection where we eventually connect with that.
Yep.
But it's out there. It's real. It's something that I've talked about for years. And thank you for bringing this to attention to everybody again. It's tough to get into this and reveal this. We've had a friend, James Rink, that just recently died, and he was part of the Super Soldier Program. He had shows on it. He had his own channel. He did events, and then he got super sick, which I think he had probably uranium poisoning or something, because all of his organs failed. And he's younger than me, in better shape, incredible shape, great mind, everything, and now he's gone. And it happened like boom, like that. We were trying to get some patches to him, but somehow the UPS or whatever, FedEx, couldn't deliver them. We sent them several times. It was undeliverable. It's like, what? So, there's a lot of resistance to bringing this into the reality. That's why you guys don't see it. All right. People die trying to bring this information out. So it's not going to come out until we've defeated the evil side, the deep state, and so forth. But we can continually bring you pieces of it. And, the reason why is because a lot of people are like, oh, that's such BS. And the guys said, what are they like? And they're dreaming, blah, blah, blah. So that keeps us, kind of gives us a little bit of cover, actually. To do this stuff, kind of like what I was talking about with SEAL Team 6. It's like, no, there's no way. Back when I was doing that, it was like, there's no way we have guys that do that stuff, and because you don't know that it's really going on, and you don't know the level that we're at, and the level that I was at with that stuff was unbelievable. So when I saw David Schmidt's stuff many years later, after being in all these high-speed programs in SEAL Team 6 and the CIA and so forth, and I saw David Schmidt's technology, it blows it all away. So we're at the cusp of incredible reveals. The LifeWave technology is an absolute gift to us right now. It's everyone on Earth would benefit from LifeWave, and I'm very passionate about that. I know you are as well. So that's great that we can do these types of shows and talk about technologies that are within reach, but for some people that don't have the open minds, no. But that's okay, because there's enough of us that are connecting with this and sharing this information that we can really start to make a difference consciousness wise. Because just like I talked about, sharing the information about the hologram capabilities, I promise you there's going to be some of that stuff's going to come out now.
Oh yeah, a big time. And thank you for saying all of that. So first of all, this is first everybody's heard James Rink. Send a prayer and a blessing to him and his soul because of what he was bringing out. And everything is very suspect with that passing of that great man. And secondly, as I had shared on our prior episode a month ago, Michael, General Valley called me and asked me to be on a meeting now 6 months ago. It was 5 months ago then. And it was with a guy who is very well known to people in the administration and very friendly with the man whom I'm showing right now on the screen wearing this patch. who's got at least 7 plates per side right there, RFK. And that man, not RFK, but the man I'm referring to, who we're not allowed to say his name, and had up myself and General Paul Valley on a call and a few other people, literally confirmed that not only was he brought forward into the programs to help take that Star Trek, Star Wars type technology, leverage it for the military industrial complex, and oversee projects that would turn into whether it's weaponized technology or also fuel type technology, right? Because you can't burn fossil fuels, and it's not even a fossil fuel, oil in space. And then he literally told us, like, typically within 15 to 30 years, it would eventually come out for the consumer, whether it was microwaves and whatnot. And being a guy who worked at RIM BlackBerry when we brought BlackBerry out, flip phones had just came out. And, you know, three years later, you've got BlackBerry as a phone with a touch screen with the ability to do video in the first iterations of it. So it happened so fast. And to that point, you know, we are with that company, this LifeWave company, which David Schmidt founded and like he said at the conference just last month, he said there are dark forces still attempting to prevent this information getting out here. And this is another reason why I'd say 1,000,000% everybody around the world needs to at least be wearing an X39, because this is the stuff they don't want you to know. The code of creation, God is eternal within the body, your body, my body, everyone's body, in that DNA that we all have. And the final point is YouTube. I have done no problem with these streams for weeks on end to Rumble and YouTube right now. And suddenly, you know, it says that I can't broadcast the stream to YouTube. I mean, and, you know, everything was fine, tests were fine, and all of a sudden, so there are still those little bit of forces attempting to mute these messages because it's natural, wearable, medbed tech, which just now received, once again, even though it had 170 plus patents across the patches alone from David, but the Worldwide Biotech Breakthrough Award for 2025, #1 in the world, #1, one of the top growing, fastest growing companies in the world. And we've got free energy technology, thanks to David and the company coming out, which we've talked about on the last one, but there's no point now. It's probably about 2 years from mass distribution. So it's incredible to belong here, be part of this team, and we'll play David's mission, his message, so you all get to see this in about a moment's time. But, you know, Michael, you've been involved in businesses, as I mentioned in the beginning. Thank you for your leadership, mentorship, adapting and overcoming, and being an example to people and veterans and the like. I grew up in a family of entrepreneurs, my mom and dad with our lumber mills, but it was tied to the economy. And so when you're building houses in the United States and we're shipping lumber from the lumber mills down to Michigan, Atlanta, and Florida, everything is great. Boom times are great. Family's great. We got ATVs, we got dirt bikes. It's amazing, you know, and I'm rocking it out and fishing on the lake. And then economy snaps, it drops, like we're seeing a lot of people facing right now. And guess what? Banks coming, they're taking the keys to our house. And mom and dad had to build it all back up again after that. So this is, to me, the best business to be in sharing the light. And I'll go over to you for your commentary on that and your experience before we play David's message.
Oh yeah, it's been like I've been able to, like we talk about, you know, creating your own reality. You have the super soldier ability, the God code within you. Everything that I wanted to do in my life, I just focused on it, imagine that it was a reality until it was. And that's been something that I've been able to do with becoming a Navy SEAL. As a little boy, I dreamed of being a Navy SEAL and did that at the highest levels. I watched the James Bond movies and read all the books by Ian Fleming. I was like, I want to do that after I do the Navy SEAL thing. And I did. And I had License to Kill. And I wasn't chasing women like he did, but you know, I did a lot of other chase the bad guys instead. So I did all the things I wanted to do. The third thing in my life that I wanted to do is have a business. And I knew that to have the most successful business, you need to share something that people found valuable. And the more people you share with, the greater your income level. So that's pretty much where I've been with LifeWave. I'm gonna try and turn the camera so you can see
Yeah.
on the back over there. It's the third shelf up. There's trophies there. So I've trophied in LifeWave from the first year that I was there. I went all the way through the top, and I was the number one in customer acquisition in the world and in North America, which is the biggest place where you can for 3 years in a row, number one in North America, and then for 2 years in a row, number one in the world. Now, why didn't I get the third year for the world? Well, because I'm a team player, and like with Brad, I shared customers with other people that are in my business. I share customers. Now Brad is at the point where he is doing the same thing. So you build a massive business, and then you start to bring other people in. You start to develop them, just like I did in the SEAL teams and just like I did in the CIA. You acquire a really good skill, and then you share it, and then you develop other people. So that's what I love about LifeWave. It can be whatever level of business you want it to be. Really, it can be $50, $100 extra a week, or it can be a lot more. It's depending on how much you want to get involved with it. So unbelievable business, unbelievable technology, unbelievable help for humanity. And the code of creation is definitely going to show everybody that this is on another level, because they're trying to basically take that God code from us.
Yep.
And that's what they go into in this film. And it's riveting. I basically cried during it. It's pretty amazing. I can't wait to see it again. I get to see it at the conference. They let a few of us come in and watch it, but it's once it comes out, then people are going to be transformed, and they're going to understand that this is something that's far greater than just wellness and good mental states and so forth. It's on a whole different level of why you want to be in LifeWave.
Yeah. Yeah, this is the company that I believe and 100% wholeheartedly is transforming the world as a business enterprise, and multifaceted as well. Over the target.
Evidently.
Over the target 3 times. Yeah. So, I mean, that's a message right there, isn't it?
Just be patient. It'll work. We'll overcome it and work through it.
Absolutely. So amazing. And for those of you who haven't seen David Schmidt, we're going to play this video so you hear his mission in his own words, which go right back to what Michael was saying. And my mission, my sole purpose, is to uplift the consciousness of mankind through song and story. Since my my Dolores Cannon session in 2015, and I discovered what my soul signed up for in this lifetime, this company and what it does 100% are a match to the mission for my soul. But here's David, America's most prolific inventor, telling it right from the heart to all of you. 2 minutes.
In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. There is more information there than most people would ever realize. I was 8 years old, and my parents wanted to take me to the workshop of Thomas Edison. On the drive back home, I said to my dad, I want to be an inventor. Light, as it turns out, is the primary control mechanism for everything else that happens in the body. What if we could have an external electromagnetic field that would essentially reset the stem cells that are already in our bodies and get them to function like younger, healthier cells. What if in the process, we actually found out that in a book that was written thousands of years ago, that information already existed? God has left his fingerprint in natural design, and that blueprint shows up in nature. The mathematical codes are identical. The implications to this are absolutely extraordinary. What drives me is that there's this enormous sense of hope that we can create technology to generate clean energy, that we can have foods that aren't genetically modified, and we can meet all of the needs on the planet that we have to, and that we can heal people.
What everybody you also saw right there are actual gematria codes from the Bible, which says, and in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. And what David has been able to, just like everyone saw Greg Braden decoding God eternal within the body, which is already there. What David has been able to do over the last several years is a quiet project. We've discussed it a few times on our shows, is the X2O water machine, not yet publicly available for distribution. But this man created a water which has never existed on Earth from an element that he spun that was created that doesn't exist on the periodic table. And 100% of the people who drink the water from this machine have results in 15 seconds. So there are multiple clinical studies which have been concluded and are still going on now for this water machine to come out. And the applications not only in the home for each one of us, and Michael has been right here, been able to enjoy it, him and his wife and a few other members of our team for the last several months, going back to testing it last year as well for David. This is world changing, this company. And why don't we just leave it here, talk about the water machine coming up as a future for everybody to share if they choose to be a business partner, Michael, and then we'll reel it out for the end of the day.
Yeah, David Schmidt. If we get a chance, I'll go grab the piece of. He gave all of us, the top in the company, a little piece of the metal a new metal that has never existed before on Earth. He developed a new metal that's within the X2O machine, and it creates this. It infuses water with light. So you drink that water that's light infused, and it does incredible things. So there's been people that, fortunately, over the last couple of years, as he's been developing this machine and getting it smaller and smaller and smaller, because at one time I guess it was like 3 feet and down one way and 2 feet the other way. So they've condensed it down, and he's been able to give some of these water machines to people that were desperate. They weren't going to go forward in life for different reasons, and they were able to overcome. And I've seen some of these people, and I know some of these people, and they are thriving today. And before they were like a foot in the grave.
Yep.
So there is definitely something to infusing the body with light, God energy, I believe. We're all light beings. So some kind of frequency comes in and starts to, disparage, starts to disrupt our light energy. We can probably name a lot of different things that are out there, and some of them are targeting us specifically. Some of them, just bad water from different reasons that are natural or whatever. But it's, for me, when I started using the water, I had a couple different problems that seemed to be getting worse, kind of like some of those people I talked about. I didn't have a foot in the grave yet, but I thought that it might be moving that direction. Wow. So I was like very much looking forward to the water machine, and all of that's been turned around. Like our friend that just recently passed, he definitely had 1 foot and the other foot was halfway in. I don't know if he would have benefited from the water, but I would like to have tried. But some people are going to get some, just like they put the patch on, their one patch wonders, they get incredible results like I did. Others take time. So I think that most people are going to benefit from the water machine on many different levels. Just getting really good, because there's 2 different filters in it for one. And then the light infusing into the water. Almost everybody that I've spoken to that's tried the water machine gets some kind of results within seconds, and that's the way I was. I felt real floaty. I felt like my neurons in my brain were firing better. It was pretty significant. Now, again, not everybody will probably have those instantaneous experiences, but most people do. And so I think it's going to be a huge hit. Both of us have, built very successful businesses already, and I think they're once the water machine comes in, they'll launch on another level again. So it's I'm very excited about it. I had David Schmidt, like I said, on my show yesterday, and he talked again about what we've all talked about, where there's James Rink getting sabotaged, or where there's a lot of other people over the years have been sabotaged. He talked about how his company has been sabotaged, and the water machine was supposed to already be out, but it got sabotaged. And he said they just seem to keep coming at me, but we're going to have that water machine out hopefully by the beginning of next year. So we're looking forward to more people getting to benefit from this incredible technologies.
Yeah, it's amazing that he's decoded biblical scripture, found the gematria 999-888-777, found the Newton meter frequencies for that, spun that into water, having created an element, and then now he has the ability to match it up with the X39 patch, which is what he had mentioned. It's a marriage for X39, and you drink 1 to 2 glasses of water every single day with this machine when it finally comes out. And it's really remarkable because Bishop Jim O'Connor and I just had a show. I was interviewed on his network, and he was talking about the ability for us, like with our telomeres extended, no longer capped off. We could go hundreds and hundreds of years, very youthful, back in your 20s and 30s, like X39 reverses aging, which it's patented for, and it's done naturally. That this really is a complete shift, a quantum shift for all of mankind and sentient life across planet Earth in this ascension. And I'm so grateful to be a part of it, to be a part of your team. And for everybody who's watching here, everybody who gets involved, whether you're a customer and you come on one time, you want to try the X39, or become a brand partner and partner with us, it is a massive team that supports everybody directly to grow this, because this is going to shift the world for the better, the greater good, for sure.
Yep. Absolutely. And, David talked about that. I've heard him talk about it before. He talked about it on my show, going all the way back into biblical times where we had Methuselah and Noah living, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years. And like you're talking about, I think it's coming back again soon.
Yeah, pretty amazing. And that's so cool. Well, the next show we're going to be talking about next month for the series will include super soldier training on Venus with the Venusians. And in the meantime, everybody, the link's right below the description, scrolling across the screen. You can hit the QR code that's right up here on the screen, and that will take you immediately to the best discount that we can give you, which just on X39 alone right now is 30% off through the discount through our team. Right at my link that's up there. So you can click the QR code, you can go for that. If you have any questions, you can call. The number will be on the screen when you get over there. We have AI agent chat support, email support, direct. When you get involved, immediately you'll get a welcome letter from myself within about 24 hours. Plus you have all the contacts for our team to get onto Zooms and trainings and up to speed, or just some one-on-one private sessions if it's necessary for you. So we want everybody to succeed, whether it's just for your own self and your own wellness sake, or you want to do that and share. Everything's here for you. And there's 100% money back guarantee all the way through. So we truly appreciate it. Michael, I appreciate you, and say hi to Tracy Joe.
Absolutely.
Thank you for coming back on here. Appreciate it, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you, Brad.
Of All right. Okay, everyone. Take care. We'll see you all later. Until next time, God bless. Thanks for joining us on the program, ladies and gentlemen. Please like, follow, subscribe, share this with 9 friends and family. And of course, if you enjoy our blinged Buddha firing red pills from his 9mm, let us know.